Hey there, hi there, ho there, I am Shut Up James, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. As many of you may have noticed, I have been gone for a minute. I've been gone for a while, and if you didn't notice, then that's incredibly rude. But if you've been here before, then you know that I'm a person who loves horror movies. I just haven't seen them all, so this page is kind of dedicated to me celebrating the movies that I do love and then watching new ones with you. And by new ones, I mean they probably came out like in the 70s and I just somehow went my entire life without seeing them. Since 2023 started, I've been pretty consistent with getting new movie reactions out there, and I was super excited, but then I had a work trip that was like a week long. I came back for a couple days and then had another trip with some friends, and then came back, and then work has just been crazy and whatever. So in this video today, we're not reacting to any movies, we're not doing any rankings, this is not a trailer situation, whatever. This is a horror haul video. I have done things like this live, like I've done Instagram lives and shown off some stuff, but like I got a lot of things. So we're gonna go over the first trip, which was Los Angeles. I have a lot that I did there. You get to see some photos that I haven't even posted on Instagram yet. Did some cool stuff, saw some cool places. Next, we'll go over my trip to Las Vegas. That was specifically for the Days of the Dead horror convention. So a lot went on there as well. Then thirdly, my mouth is dry. Thirdly, we'll go over some stuff I got once I got back home, and at the end of this video, I'll be announcing my next movie reaction. I'll be announcing the next couple of videos that I'm working on, and I'm very excited for those. Now it's time for my obligatory plea. So if you are watching this video, and you are liking this video, and you're commenting on this video, then please subscribe to my page, and turn on notifications so you can be reminded of when I do these ridiculous things. We have a lot to talk about. So without further whatever, here we go. So I work for a company that once or twice a year will send us someplace across the country for like a collective team building situation. One of the great things about that is I end up going places I've never been before. So I had never been to the West Coast before this trip to Los Angeles. Thankfully, I know someone that lives out there, so I actually stayed with him like one night before and then stayed with him a couple nights after and got to do a bunch of things. And then I was able to squeeze a couple spooky things in between the work as well. My whole plan for that day was to arrive about 9:30 in the morning and spend the entire day in South Pasadena, because that is where they filmed the original Halloween. And then within just a few blocks of that area are locations from Scream 2, Halloween 3, a little further out, Halloween H2O, Poltergeist, a lot of stuff. So that was my goal. Get there in the morning, spend the whole day walking around, no rush. Well, I did not land and find a ride to South Pasadena until the sun went down. So I arrive at the Myers house in the center of South Pasadena on those railroad tracks. If you watch like the behind the scenes stuff from the movie, you know that the Myers house was actually physically removed a couple blocks from where it is in the original film. So to preserve the historic aspect of the house, not because it's just because it's from Halloween, because it is a historic, like one of the first houses built out there, they moved it to this railroad property. When they said railroad property, I didn't realize the train is like right there. Like when you are in front of the house, your back is to a fence and there is a train that comes and goes a lot, often. So I get there and it's dark and I have an iPhone XR, so I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't take pictures, this is terrible. And then my friend Eddie shows up. He was a friend of a friend, and now I'm calling him my friend because he is incredible. He met me out there at the Myers house, and he has a new fancy phone, so he was like, oh, we'll just use night vision. So I got pictures standing in front, I got pictures on the steps, we got some pictures together. Look, that's Eddie. I love Eddie. I absolutely loved getting to physically be in front of the Myers house, and there is a cool little spooky museum right behind that I did take pictures at, but it was closed. Again, I got there at nighttime. Then Eddie takes me around to a cute little video rental store. It was called Videotech, with a TH in tech. They were super nice. They had this big selection of movies. I was super stoked, but it was mostly video rentals. They didn't have as much that they were selling. But two things caught my eye, so I had to spend the money that I did not have. Also, did I tell you I went on this trip broke? I went on both of these trips broke, but that's what credit cards are for. So I finally got my hands on the Halloween 3 4K special edition from Shout Factory with this box cover. When they first came out, I was like, whatever, like I have the Blu-ray box set, like what's the difference besides the video quality? And then I realized that they have this beautiful like box that they come in, so now I need them. Look how cute this is. And the quality really is spectacular. Another thing I got was this Alien box collection, because look at the freaking price. It says $30. Now, I have the Alien quadrilogy collection, which is like that 9-disc. They have to like unfolds disc after disc after disc. But that's DVD, so the quality is definitely diminished. This one is Blu-ray. The only thing is when you put the discs in, it has a disclaimer that says, if your software is not updated, this disc might not work. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say. And then the discs didn't work. So I use a PS5 to play my Blu-rays, and apparently I need to do better. So we leave the shop. Long story short, too late. We end up going to the movie theater that they filmed the opening scene from Scream 2, and I got some pictures taken. Then I found out later that that's the same movie theater in A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master, when Alice gets like thrown like into the movie and then out of the movie or whatever. That's the movie theater. I got to see the original drugstore like shop from Halloween because it's on the same corner as the Myers house. I got my picture taken at the hedge from the first movie. It was like 16 hours of being awake before I even got to California, and then several hours before I was able to just get to South Pasadena. It was totally worth it. Then we got hibachi, which was really good, and went back to my friend's apartment and played the original Resident Evil 2. Like, he pulled out his PS1. We played like Tekken and Resident Evil 2. Then the next couple days was like work stuff, right? That's why I was out there. So work, work, work. On the last day of work, it was like a half day, and they were expecting everyone to like fly back home, and I said, no thank you, I'm gonna stay. On that day, I got to go with a friend and see Jimmy Kimmel Live. It was the episode with Reese Witherspoon, so if you want to go check that out, you'll see me a couple times in my white sweater yelling in the audience. I learned that I can go woo really well. It sounds stupid, like I'm making that up. That sounds like a stupid thing. But I never yell at events because my voice cracks. Like, I'm not a singer, I can't project. And I literally learned at Jimmy Kimmel that I can. The more you know. Got to see the Chinese theater, went to some West Hollywood club. However, the highlight of the day for me was there was like a short period of time after work before Jimmy Kimmel where I was actually able to go to the houses from the opening of Halloween H2O. So I got my picture taken in front of Marion Chambers' house, the smoking nurse's house, from the opening of that movie, and then right next door is Jimmy's house, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Took some pictures, did the damn thing, loved it. Next day, we did Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, Universal Studios Hollywood is smaller than I was expecting, and a lot of the rides were closed. Like, we didn't get to do Jurassic World, we didn't get to do Transformers, but the day was a lot of fun. I brought my Jaws 2 VHS and took some pictures in the front entranceway with the globe. You know what? Eddie still has that. Eddie was holding that slipcover in his bag. I have to get that back from him. Eddie, give me back my shit. So this day was just the boys. So the boys are Carlo and Julio, and now an honorary member in the boys club is Eddie. Eddie took this amazing shot. This hasn't even gone up on my Instagram yet, but like, it will. Look at this. Like, look at that. I can't. We went to this comic book store called Things from Another World, which is in Universal Studios Hollywood. That's actually where I got this shirt. I freaking love horror movies. We also went to a bakery called Voodoo Donut, which was delicious. Stopped at some shop, and I don't remember the name because we were just walking out, and I was like, let me just go check, and I found like a dozen spooky socks, but it was a lot of Freddy Krueger socks. They had Jason socks. I had some Halloween socks, some Chucky socks. Oh, I'm wearing the Chucky socks. What's the bottom look like? Ow, I've been going back to the gym, but like, I don't do stretches. It's Chucky's face and he wants to play. Ow. As I shake the whole room. Now, this is all still Los Angeles. A new friend of mine, Steven, had mentioned, like, are you gonna go to the My Bloody Valentine book signing in Burbank while you're in California? And I was like, I don't know what you're even talking about. And I looked at the dates, and my friend's apartment was only, I think, 20 minutes from this book signing because they just launched a novelization of the original My Bloody Valentine, a licensed board game, and this event had cast members from the original 1981 movie. Everyone at this book signing was incredibly lovely. The people that worked at the place, this was at Dark Delicacies in Burbank, amazing, super friendly. The book is written by Armando Munoz. I only got to talk to him for like a couple seconds. Incredibly nice person. He said Happy Valentine's Day. So he signed the inside of the book. And then I got to have John and Sylvia from the movie. They were so nice. They signed it. Only thing is, her real name is Helene, not Sylvia, obviously, duh. But her marker was like not like a great marker. And so it's already like smudging off of the front of the book, unfortunately, but it's still beautiful. I'm only a couple chapters in, but I love it. My little Michael Myers bookmark. I brought my Shout Factory slip cover for them to sign. If you see, like, I still love it, but you can see the marker, like it bled when she used it. Rob, Helene, if you don't have this release already, why? The board game, which I have not started playing yet. The board game was created by Anthony Massey. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? I had that signed by the cast as well, and I had Armando sign it. He was like, I didn't help with the game, and I was like, I don't care, sign it. And then I wasn't planning on getting a photo, but I saw this one, and they both were there, and so I got them to sign this. So if you ever get the chance, incredibly lovely human beings. We actually were holding up the line because they just wanted to keep talking to us. Then a fun thing happened. I got recognized from this YouTube. Someone said, are you on YouTube? And I was like, yes, what? His name is Scott. He was very kind. Thank you for approaching me, because that actually made my day and my week and my month and my year. So then we kind of wrap up the Los Angeles trip. I went to Margot's in Santa Monica. That was a lot of fun. I don't know who took this picture. I don't know what's going on here. Either way, great time. My flight left at 4 a.m., so went back home. Got home, worked for a couple days, and then boom, now we're going to Las Vegas. Sin City, boom, boom, boom. So we are in Las Vegas specifically for the Days of the Dead horror convention. I got my videotapes and my slipcovers, and I'm expecting to spend all the money that I do not have. So I meet up with a couple of friends. If you follow me on Instagram, you might know at least one of them, and I'm going to name drop him because he's a big deal. It's Blockbusted Videos on Instagram. So if you like scary movies, he has every movie. Multiple copies of every movie. So we get there, and one of the first things that he and his husband are wanting to do is go to like these antique stores. And I think everyone else was kind of like, oh, maybe whatever. And I was like, yes, absolutely yes. I'm not looking to do Vegas stuff. I'm not in Vegas for Vegas. So I'm like, absolutely, I'm on board. We go to Antique Mall of America, I want to say it was called. It is gigantic. It is just like little pockets of stuff. Like, there are gigantic things, there are like trinket sized things. Millions of pieces of just every kind of merchandise you could possibly think of. We're probably there for like over an hour. I ended up getting House on Haunted Hill on VHS because I have the DVD, but I don't have any of the original tapes that I had when I was younger. So my new life purpose is to find those tapes and collect them, and then also I'm getting some tapes of movies that I'm falling in love with now. I have Prom Night 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. Like, those aren't movies I owned on tape back in the day, but I sought them out. I am looking for the original My Bloody Valentine on VHS, so if you have one, let me know. And I also picked up Final Destination 2. It even has the, I keep almost going off the screen with it. It has the original, like that cool, what is this called? When you turn it, it does the thing. The DVD does it as well, but there's just something about a VHS tape. There's just something about it. I love it. It's so beautiful. And I mean, this was still, early 2000s where we had like the whole cast on the front. So I got those. We ended up going to the Art District in Vegas, which was amazing, beautiful, a lot of fun. We did an escape room, which I enjoyed, but it was stressful. We're not going to talk about it, but that was still a good time, mostly. And then we went to dinner at Nightmare Cafe, which is attached to Nightmare Toys. Nightmare Cafe, I will say the food was great. All I got were like chicken fingers and fries, because I'm like, I just want something like, I just want finger food. And I was starving. I like hadn't eaten all day. And those chicken fingers were like hand-breaded perfection. So good. Go there. And the theme of the restaurant is horror, so they're playing horror movies on all the TVs, and there's horror merchandise all over the place. Okay, so the next day is us kind of just walking the strip. Now, we didn't get to do as much as we probably had planned for a number of reasons, but really also because something that looks like it's super close to you in Vegas, what I've learned is it's not. So it took us like half a day to get to New York, the New York part of Vegas. We were over, like I stayed over by the France part, kind of. I was near the Eiffel Tower. We had to walk to the Statue of Liberty. I brought my Resident Evil Extinction with me and took some pictures. I was tricked onto doing that gigantic roller coaster. I'm fine with roller coasters. Upside Down is, I don't know if I like Upside Down as much, but I don't like very high roller coasters. And what I'm going to tell you is that roller coaster, I believe, is the highest roller coaster I have probably ever been on. I don't think I opened my eyes for more than like 3 seconds. Friendships were almost lost over that roller coaster. So then we, get back and have some food, whatever. We did Old Vegas, which was really sleazy, but I'm glad I got to see it. And then we find out that the horror convention is in old Vegas. Like we look up and we're like, oh, there's the con. So we actually just walked in. No one was checking the wristbands or anything like that. We didn't do anything, buy anything. We just kind of looked around. We saw a couple people, had some lines. Most everyone had left because this is late at night. But it was cool to kind of get like lay of the land, because the next day was the actual, like when we had our tickets for the convention. Okay, so now it's the day of the convention, and it's a lot. There's a lot. It's smaller than I thought, but there are tons of celebrities there. Like we have a convention in Connecticut and it takes up like 3 or 4 gigantic rooms. Like there's one room that's just merch, one that's, you know, the highlight celebrities, maybe, if you will, and another room that's like the other celebrities, and then there's like vendors for food. This was not that. This was one room and they crammed everything in together. I was fine with that because it just made it easy to get to everybody. Now they had the director and actors from Terrifier and Terrifier 2. They had people from Texas Chainsaw 2. They had people from Dawn of the Dead, Paranormal Activity, a couple of the Friday the 13th movies. And they had people that were there kind of promoting their own movies or merch. It was great. I had planned ahead to specifically see a few people, so I'm going to show you the stuff I got from them. The very first person that I got an autograph from was Tom Savini. So I brought my Friday the 13th, the final chapter, for him to sign, and he did. Tom Savini right there. I'll be honest, there's not much to say about my experience with him because he wasn't very receptive. Maybe he wasn't in a good mood that day. It happens. But he signed this. Thank you. Next, on the other side of the building was Kim Myers, who is the girlfriend friend in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, but also Hellraiser Bloodline. So I feel like she probably gets tons of people who bring her Freddy's Revenge stuff, rightfully so, because I think she's great in that movie. She's a lot of fun, but I loved recognizing her in this. So she signed this for me. Kim Myers, incredibly pleasant. Seek her out. She's also gorgeous, stunning. Now, next is the one and only Heather Langenkamp. So she actually had a Q&A, which we got to sit in and watch, and they actually talked about other movies that she's done. They barely talked about the Nightmare franchise, which for me as a fan, I'm like, oh, okay, like that's interesting. For her, I'm sure she's like, oh, finally, something else. But she was very pleasant. I actually got a picture taken with her early when my friends were in another Q&A, and the picture came out really bad. Like the person, her guy who was taking pictures, took one picture. It was super dark, and I was like, this is awful. So later we got back in line. Derek and I were waiting for him to take his photo, and we were kind of getting like chummy with the woman who was like taking the payments and stuff, and she was super nice. I asked if it'd be fine if Heather could retake the picture from earlier, and they both were like, yes, that's fine. So thank you very much for that. I brought my Wes Craven's New Nightmare DVD. I have the VHS as well, but I'm gonna be honest, even though it probably would make more sense for her to sign the videotape, it's too beautiful. I didn't want it to get messed up. So I brought the DVD, and she signed it, and she wrote, James, where did you hear that rhyme? So that there, she wrote it like sideways. And then I wasn't sure if I was gonna get a photo and have her sign that as well, but I saw this photo. And if you couldn't tell, Wes Craven's New Nightmare is my favorite in the franchise. So I saw this, and she said, James, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Obsessed. I'm obsession. So at some point in the middle of all this, we actually left the convention to go get lunch, and we actually went to the Nightmare toy store. So earlier I said we went to Nightmare Cafe. Nightmare Cafe is attached to Nightmare Toys, which is like a spooky merch store. I grabbed a couple things. The store was great, but I wasn't like trying to spend money. But then I saw these two videotapes that, even though they're not horror, they like kind of are my childhood, and they were like, I used to watch these on repeat all the time. One of them is Speed. It's still wrapped in the plastic. Maybe I'll take it out and watch it, or maybe it's gonna stay in here. It says $7. I forgot how much it actually was though. I can't remember. It was, $2. And then the next one was, oh, I love this movie. If you know me, then you know that I love this movie. Dante's Peak. Peak cinema. Get it? I love it. I have it on Blu-ray, of course, because duh. But again, there's just something about a VHS tape. So these are from Nightmare Toys. You go back to your home now. All right, now we go back to the convention, and we end up seeing Danielle Harris. I have seen Danielle Harris before. So I when she came to Connecticut, and when I saw her in Las Vegas, I said, a couple years ago you came to Connecticut, thank you, because I didn't think I'd ever get to like meet you, you know? Again, I'd never been to the West Coast, so if these conventions are always in Texas and California and Nevada, like I'm not gonna get to go. At this point, she had a Bloody Mary in front of her, so she was feeling good, super nice. When I saw her at the Connecticut convention, I brought Halloween 4, and I had her write double scoops. And this time, I brought Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Don't freak out, because I actually do appreciate the director's cut of this movie, having a cohesive story and not having the characters be like, boo, boo, one day at a time, even though I literally had her write one day at a time. But only because I should have had her write one fucking day at a time, although I think Scout might say that in the movie. The character dynamic between Danielle Harris's Annie and Scout's Lori, each one is a constant reminder to the other of the trauma of the first movie, the trauma, if you will. So anyway, I'm not gonna try to sell this movie to you. If you wanna watch it, great. If not, then whatever. I don't like the theatrical cut at all. It's the director's cut that I enjoy. So to James, one day at a time, Danielle Harris, Annie. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't even see because there's a glare. The thing is that she wrote it in silver, which still looks fine, but my friend Derek got his in orange so it stands out more, and he had her write boo fucking who, and I need to bring my DVD of this and have her, I'm gonna copy and have her do boo fucking who, because again, that's from the director's cut. Okay, speaking of Annies, the Nancy Loomis, who played Annie in the original Halloween, was also at this convention. Very, very lovely woman. And I'm super glad that she came because, I mean, this is not to sound disrespectful, but you forget that, you know, when Jamie Lee Curtis was 19 playing a, 17-year-old, Nancy Loomis was 30. She was 30 in 1978. So the fact that she still even comes to these conventions, amazing. Much respect to Nancy Loomis. I have the original, like the Blockbuster Presents tape. Now, again, I said I don't want people signing my tapes, but even though I love this copy of the movie because it's a Blockbuster Presents, I don't care for the art, so I was like, you can write all over this. And I had to write, guess he found a hot date, which is right after poor Lester gets murdered. Okay, the last person that we saw and waited a while for was Kane Hodder. You would know him as playing Jason in many of the Friday the 13th movies. You would also know him as the killer in Hatchet. You would know, if you play video games, that he did the stop motion. The motion capture for Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th video game, but also Leatherface in the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game that's coming out soon. Among other things, he's had a plentiful career. So I brought him Jason Takes Manhattan. Again, I have the VHS tape, don't touch it. He got to sign the Blu-ray though. His honor, right? So it just says to James, Kane Hodder, Jason. Obviously I can't have him write a quote on here because Jason doesn't say a damn thing. I will say he was very pleasant. He was super nice. He was talking, like 2 tables down was Tom Arnold, so he was talking to him for a long time. The people waiting in line just patiently waited. It was fine. He came over with his beer, super nice. He asked me some trivia questions, which I knew the answers to, which I think that maybe he wasn't expecting, even though this is a horror convention. Everyone should know the answers. But what I will say is I noticed he wasn't standing up for a lot of the photos, and he stood up for me, so he's a real one. So even though he was the last person that I saw at the event and got an autograph from, there is someone that I saw earlier at the convention whose movies I have not seen, and this person was easily the best part of the con. I am talking, of course, about the Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp. This woman, I can't even. Her energy was she was so happy to see everyone. It did not come off as a fake energy at all. Everyone around her was super nice. The person, was his name Frank? The person who was like with her taking like the photos and I think collecting the cash and stuff, amazing. Loved Frank. Maybe that wasn't their name. I'm sorry if it wasn't. The other actors from Sleepaway Camp were there and they all seemed to love her and each other. Like, it just, everyone, you can tell it wasn't fake because they were all having such a great time. I was actually holding the phone to take a group photo with 2 different friends because they were obsessed, obviously, with her and with Sleepaway Camp. And she was like, honey, what's your name? I was like, James. And she was like, get in the picture. And she was like, handed the phones off to somebody else. And a lot of the celebrities, because they have long lines, maybe, I don't know, or they're just tired, they don't want to, but they are like one photo and that's it. Maybe 2 if you can sneak in, like for some of them I'm like, pew, 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 whatever. She was like, more, this way, that way. Like she wanted more photos with everyone. So I have photos with this incredibly lovely woman who stars in a movie I have never even seen before. It was such a highlight. If you're not already following Felissa Rose on Instagram or the medias or something, like, what are you doing? Go do it right now. And that was Las Vegas. Spilled my energy drink on the floor. But anyway, yep, that was Las Vegas. Would I go back? Probably not. I did not enjoy Vegas for Vegas. I enjoyed Vegas for Nightmare Toys, the antique store, the convention, Felissa Rose. Like, I enjoyed what we went there for, but I'll be honest, I don't need to go back to Vegas ever again. All right, so I come back home, go back to work, live my life, blah, 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 whatever. Yesterday, however, I had to do an outsourcing event for work. So I had to go down to Greenwich, Connecticut, which is like a little over an hour away from me. And I've never been to Greenwich, besides like driving through to go to New York or something. But there is a video store in Bridgeport, Connecticut that my friends have told me about. Like even other parts of the world are like, oh my gosh, you have the Archive, which is the store in Bridgeport. And I'm like, yeah, and what's the Archive? This is a couple years ago. Okay, I know what the Archive is now. They're like, bitch, go to the Archive. So I look it up. They've got tons of like vinyl, DVD, VHS, merch. Now, if you have not heard of the Archive before, that's fine. But just know that they opened in, I want to say like 2017, because I looked into this, right? They opened in, I think, 2017 as a storefront for Vinegar Syndrome. So if you've gotten like a Blu-ray 4K special edition Vinegar Syndrome movie, you got it from the Archive. Like they are one and the same. So because this store was literally on my way to my event, I stopped. I only got to spend maybe like 45 minutes to an hour there. I could have spent the entire day though. A bunch of separate rooms, and it's like just walls and walls and walls of movies. Sometimes they're in alphabetical order, sometimes they're not, so it was kind of overwhelming. I had my eye on a couple tapes, but I actually ended up getting these. So I got the 3-movie release of Silent Night, Deadly Night, 3, 4, and 5, because this holiday season I plan on watching all of them. If you've been watching my movie reactions on this channel, you know that I was very confused by the first movie, and I was even more confused by the second movie, but I've heard that these are gems, that these are like hidden treasures and a lot of fun. So we're gonna see. Holiday 2023 is gonna be silent and deadly. Yeah, you see how pretty this is. It was like 20 bucks. Another thing I got, which I was not, like, it wasn't even on my radar. I was looking for any physical copy of Return to Oz. That was like in my brain, like I will get that immediately regardless of the price. And again, My Bloody Valentine on VHS. Those are the things I wanted, and I looked and I didn't find them, but I came across this, and I don't own the first 2 Scary Movies at all. I don't know what happened to the DVDs I thought I had back in the day, and it's very difficult to find them on Blu-ray. So literally, it's the first 3 movies. The third is fine. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't care. 1 and 2 though are national treasures and should be protected at all costs. But 3 movies for $8? Thank you, the Archive. And this is all since I've been back home. And today, so basically yesterday and today, I just spent all of my most recent paycheck. Today, I got, oh, I didn't open them yet. Well, I guess we're gonna have like an unboxing, an unraveling, if you will. The first one, you can see the cover, I got the Dentist collection. I have not seen the Dentist, the first one, since I was a kid, and I don't remember much about it, except I think he puts like knives in his wife's mouth or something. But it has the Dentist too, so we're gonna watch those at some point. We'll react to those. Fun. My friend Derek let me know that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4Ks were out at Best Buy, and my Best Buy sucks. Usually they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing that any other Best Buy seems to have. And I'm like an instant gratification kind of person where I want the thing now, so I can order online and wait 2 weeks, but I want it in this moment. The first one, oh, look at, we're gonna do this together, you guys. This is the regular, like 4K. This is the 4K release. Be gentle, James. Oh, here, I have something sharp over here. Be gentle, be gentle, be gentle. Hey. I have a screwdriver and some stuff over here because I've been building shelves and working on a spooky corner that's almost done, but I have a couple more things I want to put up, so you're not going to get a reveal yet. A few more weeks. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. So this is the 4K. Where's the floor's the garbage. That is gorgeous. We're looking at this together. Who will survive and what will be left of them? I never understood that grammatically as a child. Obviously I get it now, but. And I have this movie on Blu-ray. I have a Blu-ray Steelbook, but the bonus features are just commentaries. So it's like 5 separate video commentaries and then nothing else. So if I ever want to watch like behind the scenes, I have to go find my Texas Chainsaw DVD, because now I have the VHS and I have the DVD and I have the Blu-ray Steelbook. Now I have this gorgeous 4K. Oh, look at the discs. Oh, I love that that's great. Okay, little baby, you go back in here. On to the next, on to the next. This one's a little easier to open. Garbage floor. This is the 4K Steelbook. So I wanted, okay, I don't have the money for this, but I did anyway. I just got paid, it's fine. I wanted both because I had seen this cover and was like, I need that. That is too beautiful to not own. But it only comes as a slip with the regular 4K. Do you guys keep these? I used to keep them and then they just get ruined. So let me know if you keep these things or if you just discard. Okay, so look at this cover. We got the set. Okay, well that's just a waste. Oh my god. I'm sorry. It comes with a poster. It comes with a double-sided poster because as I was going to show you this, I noticed this. Are you joking? Go get this Steelbook now. It's at Best Buy. The discs look the same with the thing. So the picture on the inside and the back is the dinner scene. Yep. Yep. They did it. Angela Bassett did the thing. So, everyone, that is it. That's my horror haul from the past month. We did location scouting basically in Los Angeles, met a bunch of spooky people in Las Vegas, and then got some cute ass movies back home. And if I forgot anything, like if there's more stuff that I got and I just didn't remember to show it to you, go follow me on Instagram. You'll see a lot more celebrity photos, a lot more photos of like the signatures and stuff that I got. More. Go to Instagram. Because, I mean, I had to have forgotten something. I am very forgetful. Okay, now the last part of this video is me announcing, like, the stuff. Like, what's to come, right? Because I've been gone for a while. So, based on my experience in Vegas at the horror convention, even though I actually have a movie reaction filmed and half edited, the next reaction that you're going to get from me, because I'm so excited to finally see it, is Sleepaway Camp. I fell in love with Felissa Rose in Las Vegas. She has my whole heart, so I'm going to... Tyler has some of my heart too. So I'm going to watch Sleepaway Camp. The reason I have not watched it for so long is because the ending was ruined for me years ago. It definitely is an important film, and I've never not known that, but because I knew the ending, I was like, well, there's the plot twist, why am I gonna watch it? All my friends, though, say that even with knowing the plot twist, the movie itself is a lot of fun, and that the sequels are great with, like, Bruce Springsteen's niece or something. So that's the next reaction you're getting. After that, you will likely get a reaction to X, because that's the movie reaction that I have filmed and half edited. Next week, we're getting the release of Scream 6, so you'll be getting a Scream franchise ranking, my first ever franchise ranking. Then we're gonna start getting into the drunk history videos, where I literally, like, chug 2 glasses of wine and then try to talk you through the plot of my favorite horror movies. Drunk history style. Oh my gosh, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't do this kind of thing usually, but I'm like, there's too much has happened for me to not share it with all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, meet me in the comments. I talked about a lot of things. I want to talk about these things with you. Were you also at the convention? I saw so many people. I saw a couple people I thought I recognized from social media, but it's weird. I think I was more nervous to approach them than I was to approach, like, Heather Langenkamp and Kane Hodder. Okay, I'm done talking. I have to put all of these movies and stuff back in my under construction spooky corner. I knew I would forget something. Sphere. I bought Sphere. This is another one that I'm like, stop. I'm actually realizing I said some things wrong. Speed I didn't get from the Nightmare Toys. I got Speed from the antique store. It was Dante's Peak and Sphere that I got from Nightmare Toys. I knew I'd get something wrong. I am Shut Up James. Thank you for visiting this channel and for watching this video. Goodbye.
Shut up, James!
Tyler's downstairs, but you can see him. Look at Tyler. Demands.